Oh, Dogecoin.
And can you see this?
Yep, I can see it. Yep.
Okay, cool. So these are just clips from the charts. So I'm not going to be drawing anything too much, just kind of reviewing what I sent in the Taylor's code. So as you guys can see, back in 2021, in February was whenever Dogecoin had gotten listed to Coinbase. So that was where, obviously, similar to what we saw with Pepe, Pepe pulled about an 80% move to the upside and immediately following the tier one listings. So Dogecoin got the Coinbase listing, pumped up to about seven, or actually it had surged up to about 14 billion.
Mm-hmm.
Pulled back a little bit, very similar to what Pepe did immediately following the listing. Ranged a little bit for about 3 months, and then you guys can see it was around the middle of April. Doge was right around an 8 to 9 billion, just under $10 billion market cap, which is identical to where Pepe is right now. And then over the course of a week, flew from 10 billion all the way up to $60 billion market cap. So for anyone that can't do basic math, that's a 6x. If you would have gotten in, the beginning of April, held it for 2 weeks, you would have pulled a 600% return on your investment. Immediately following, there's a huge correction. Dogecoin pulls all the way back to 17 billion, which if you guys were hesitant or scared or nervous during the pullbacks you saw on the boys club over the past couple of weeks, they were nothing in comparison to this. I mean, this is a 75% pullback in the matter of, this is the daily chart. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So in 8 days, Dogecoin, which was a $60 billion asset, had a 75% correction. So if you guys want to talk about thinking that it's over, that's like, watching something 6 times the size of Pepe right now pull back 75% in a week.
It is
So
outrageous.
obviously, at this point during this wick down, everyone thinks it's over. Everyone capitulates. Everyone gets out. Like, all right, I made a little bit of money. It's over. That was cool. We're done. Then, obviously, we've said it time and time again. May is the time where you go away. You sell and go away. Look what happens. Dogecoin, again, pumps up and sets an all-time record for meme coin market caps, pumped all the way up to 90 billion. So this was over the course of 10 days, 12 days. Dogecoin went from 16 billion, 17 billion, all the way up to 90 billion. So it pulled from the lows here as this uptrend was starting towards the middle of April. This ended up being almost 1,000% move, or about a 10x on an asset that was the same size as Pepe is currently.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously a lot of volatility, but when you want to experience a lot of volatility to the upside, you got to be able to handle it on the downside too. So that was Doge, and I'm going to pull up the Pepe chart just so you guys can have an idea. So again, the brush tool is fucking awful.
Yeah, for sure.
But as you guys can see right now, this is where Pepe is. So right now we're obviously January 2025. This was the Coinbase listing. So we saw Pepe, move from, it was around 4 billion up to about $10 billion market cap, ended up peaking out at about 12 billion, and then pulled back about 30% to where it's at right now. So obviously we've just been ranging a little bit around the price of Pepe was when it originally got listed. I think currently today it's almost exactly where it was immediately following the Coinbase listing. So I think that things are heating up a little bit quicker than they did last cycle. I don't think that we're going to end up waiting until May to start really pushing like this. Maybe we'll peak out in May, similar to what happened before. But I think that this big initial pump is probably going to come a little bit earlier. So I would not be surprised if we saw a move on Pepe up to, 40, 50 billion, probably sometime in February or March. So I think this initial big impulsive move is probably going to come a little bit earlier. But I mean, as you guys can see, this move 970%, extremely similar to the move we saw on Dogecoin, very replicatable. That happened 3 years ago before the Fed printed off billions, if not trillions of dollars. It's doable now, to say the least. And I think that it's probably going to get broken. I think we're probably going to set a new glass ceiling for the meme coin sector this cycle with Pepe. But yeah, it's like any price range in this area down here, like any kind of moves you guys have seen recently, none of it's going to matter because this is the move that we're looking for. So these 20 to 30% ranges and moves to the upside and the downside down here, in the grand scheme of things, none of this shit matters because when you have a 10x on the table, we've already shown it's possible 3 years ago. Very, very likely that it's going to be able to happen again. I would just probably shift this big initial breakout move over a couple months to sometime in February or March. So that's just an idea for market cap and what kind of growth we can expect out of Pepe here in the next 3 to 6 months. I also wanted to show the actual moves that were experienced by these coins. I'm going to show Dogecoin first.
Guys, this is alpha. Make sure you like the stream. Subscribe if you haven't already. This is Juice. He's literally showing you guys the future. He's got the crystal ball out right now.
Say we're gonna start saying everything we just want to happen on stream because everything we talk about on this stream ends up coming to fruition.
Yep. Pepe to 250 billion. I said it.
Yeah. We got to start making astronomical projections. We're gonna go straight Moon Boy stream. So this is again Dogecoin back in 2021. As you guys can see, this is November of 2020. So this is where we were at, obviously, a couple months ago. This big initial leg up on Dogecoin was a 466%, so we'll call it 450% move. There was a bit of a correction, pulled back. I don't have the rest of the data on this chart, but I'd say this was probably about a 20%, 30% pullback, similar to what we just saw on Pepe. That second big leg up that I was just talking about, it ended up being about a 500% move from the previous all-time high. So all in all, first two legs there, it was about 1,000% growth from where it was at back in November of 2021, which was prior to the Coinbase listing. And then finally,
November 2022 or 2020, I mean.
November 2020, correct. Yeah. Right. Thank you. And then similar to what we're seeing right now, it ranges for about 2 months, 3 months. Not a whole lot of price action, just a lot of ranging underneath the previous all-time high, which is what we've been seeing on Ethereum for months now. It's what we're currently seeing on Pepe. And then finally in May, which is prime time for selling and for the final really big impulsive moves until potentially the end of the year, depending on what we're seeing in structure, we get another 750% move out of Dogecoin, sets records for meme coin growth up to about a $90 billion market cap, which at that point was about 66 cents. So if we look at Pepe, I must have closed it. Let me open this back up.
This is fire. It's getting me fired up.
Me too.
And the Fed chair resigned. The boys are fucking buzzing. The gentlemen are bullish.
All right, so here's a similar chart on Pepe. So obviously the time frame on this is a little bit different. We had that huge kind of historical range all through the year of 2024. It was pretty much the biggest range that we've ever seen. So Pepe, back in March, whenever everything was starting to go ballistic, people kind of thought maybe it was going to be an early crypto cycle, ended up kind of being a fake out. So Pepe had made a move of about 840% and then just ranged, it ended up perking up here around May, June area. And then everything just kind of bled for about 7 months. Finally, right here, we have this huge impulsive move, come back, range a little bit, and then ended up topping out. This was obviously the Coinbase listing that we had on Pepe that sparked this huge impulsive move. Ended up peaking out at 0.000017. I don't know what that number is. That's not accurate, but it was 160% move from this little previous initial breakout. So all in all, it's a lot of data to basically replicate the exact same moves that we had seen on the first two legs up with Doge. So between these two first moves together, we had 1,000% gain.
Wow.
Almost identical, obviously, to what we had seen on Doge.
Fucking alpha.
So for anyone that's seen, and obviously now you guys have, what happened in the past and with crypto, we know that history loves to repeat itself. We're probably going to see a little bit of a range here for, depending on when that big move happens on Pepe. We're probably going to see this previous all-time high get retested, which this price isn't accurate. I believe it's around 0.0002728.
Yeah, something like that.
Probably going to tap that. Yeah, I think it's around 2728. Probably going to tap that previous all-time high, interact with it a little bit, and then inevitably we're going to send. Since this is the third leg up, the third big leg up, I don't know if we're going to see that first leg up like we saw on Dogecoin, where it pumped up to 60 billion, have that big pullback for about a week and a half, and then really send up towards the end of May. Or if we just have a blow off top and Pepe just continues to kind of run without hesitation up all the way to 90 or 100 billion plus. That's going to be to be determined, but obviously we'll be calling it out inside the Taylor's code. We're going to continue to follow this and compare it to the structure of Dogecoin in 2021. And if you're inside the community, we're going to be telling you when to sell and showing you how to maximize your profits on this play. But yeah, it's pretty much everything I wanted to cover for that.
Yeah, super fire. That's super fire. Because like you said, it literally is the Dogecoin of this cycle. It's not, we're not saying that to be funny or to be facetious. It's literally the Dogecoin of this cycle. This cycle, it is doing exactly what Dogecoin had done last cycle. So if you can, even if you expected just to match what Doge had done last cycle, let's just call it 100 billion Pepe is able to go to. That's a 10x from right now. If you can still get a 10x right now on Pepe, this is why holding Brett on base, Andy, which is 0x68, and Wolf 0x67 on ETH, all those assets are going to pull more multiples than Pepe. So if Pepe does 10x, Brett's doing 15, Andy's doing 25, Wolf is doing 25 to 30. Those aren't Moon Boy projections. Moon Boy projections is Pepe to 250, Brett to 100 billion, Andy to 50 billion. Those are Moon Boy. That's not Moon Boy. Pepe to 100 billion, that's what Doge did 4 years ago in a less favorable administrative period, in the sense of the regulation, the administration that was in place, that was anti-crypto, anti-growth in that space. Fucking the SEC's got a case against XRP. People are getting put in jail. FTX in 2020. Those guys going to jail. Boom, boom, boom. Like, in an unfavorable period of administration, was able to do all that stuff. Now you got Trumpino coming in, who has a company that is literally buying Ethereum assets and Ethereum DeFi tokens, Aave, ETH, Litecoin. Litecoin has nothing to do with Ethereum, but Litecoin. So Trumpino's got a company that's buying crypto. Trumpino's son, Barron, is all in crypto. Trumpino's talking about pumping Bitcoin, no pullbacks. He's at the New York Stock Exchange in New York saying no more pullbacks. There's no dips. Ringing the bell. Like, this dude's coming in here to pump the markets, because he understands that if he pumps the markets, everybody becomes wealthier, everybody becomes happier, etc., whatever. So you can't tell me in a period of time where we're going to have the most bullish administration possible for crypto that we can't at least match what Doge had done. So this is why we're saying you can't be afraid of these local pullbacks and these local corrections. You have to look at it as, I need to move quickly. I need to put as much liquidity into the markets as I'm willing to lose as quickly as humanly possible so I can benefit from this 25x I'm going to get on Andy or Wolf. I'm going to get benefit off this 20x I'm going to get off of Brett. $1,000 into 20 grand is no joke.